Hey there, Elagatua, and I am back for game 2 against 13. Here we kind of queued up against each other twice in a row. So same decks as last time, but now we're on a different map. And actually, this is probably one of the two best maps for my style, or my style deck against him, because I have a lot of cheap units that are good at protecting. They're doing a lot of damage in melee range. In order for him to do damage to my crystals, he has to get over to my side of the map. It's not very easy for range units to get close, so it's just very hard for him to actually get damage done. So right off the beginning, I have a lot of options here. I can Pulmo on an empty board, which is nice because then I don't have to sacrifice a unit to play him. Or I could Brain Bash or potentially... but he decides to rock on right away. And then he's going to play a hammer. Yeah, a Grove Guardian here. So this is like kind of punished me a little bit. Now, Pulmo would be really good, but it wouldn't be able to kill anything, and then he would just heal all his guys up with Velden's Promise. So the play I just do here is send him back home, and then I'm gonna slow down that hammer guy, and he's just gonna be dragon the whole time. And again, I'm saving 5 mana, so I have full mana. And so now in this game, you're gonna see a lot of his paranoia. So in the last game, he played really well around my combos by not overextending on the board. But now in this game, he's gonna be so paranoid of my combos that he kind of prevents him from accomplishing anything in this game. But for now, he's got a bunch of Stonelings on the board, so he doesn't want to play any. He doesn't want to play any new minions, because if he plays that 5th minion, then he's vulnerable to a combo. So instead, I can clear 2 of these Stonelings very efficiently using this combo here, because the spiders that the Brain Basher summon can take down a Stoneling with the poison. So that's really efficient, and then I block the Grove Guardian. I didn't see an overpopulate last game. That doesn't mean he doesn't run one. So again, I really don't want him to run up to me with 10. He's got 10 mana, so he could play a lot. I don't want him to run up to me and then drop a bunch of Grove Guardians in my face. Like, that's really not what I want. So I send the Borefest up there to block him. And so as I mentioned last game, I'm a big fan of BitClies. I love watching his videos. He's really entertaining. And he gets really good RNG with his Borefests. I don't get good at RNG. BitClay is always lucky, and I am never lucky. And you're about to see me get never lucky, as not 1, not 2, but 3 shots in a row, my Borefest is going to not come through for me at all. And he just eats it after 1 turn. So, I mean, I guess at least he bought me some time, but, I mean, good grief, like, come on, man. All he had to do was dodge 1. He had to dodge 1. Yeah, I was pretty tilted then. But, that's just how it goes sometimes. So now he's playing again very conservatively. You see, every turn he's saving 5 mana because he wants to. Especially he's afraid of Ragnarok again, so he doesn't want to play too many things on the board. But the problem is that he's no way to really pressure. So you see I'm getting some poison on a Vermin here, and so when Vermin's HP is low, that means that Sly Shift is not as much of a threat, so that's a big combo that you see a lot. But obviously if Vermin's not at 1/5, then he could only Sly Shift him into a 2/1 poisoned Vermin, so that's why it was really important for me to get some damage on him right there. Now I think he came up with some like really nifty play here to kill all my dudes or something. So I forget what I did in response, but this game is going to be long because of the map primarily. You're going to see how difficult it is to actually get anywhere and do any damage. So what did he do here? Sagittarius. Ooh. I'm recording late at night here. Sagittarius, Stoneling, Savage Strength. He's Savage Strength. That's right, Savage Strength. Okay. Yeah, and so now I'm looking at this board, and it's pretty much Ragnarok time. Even though I basically have nothing on the board, but the problem is that if he moves his Grove Guardian forward 1 square and then moves the Vermin up 2, he's going to be able to do some damage to my crystal. And because damage on the crystal is so hard to come by on this map, I really even can't afford giving up 3 points of damage on my crystal. It could put me behind to the point where I'm going to lose. And you're going to see later on that every point of damage on the crystal really ends up mattering. So you got to know your map, and you got to know how it tends to play out. In order to make decisions like, okay, that turn I need to play the Ragnarok, even though he's only going to get 3 damage on my crystals that turn. Like, that was the time. So now he's got 10 mana. He's going to fill up the board with a bunch of guys, which is a little scary. But the nice thing is that the Gnome is really bad against Viper, because the Viper is basically a 2 damage ranged unit. So that's easy. And now all I have to do is sit guys in front of my crystal, and he has no way of moving his guys forward. So even though he's got some guys pretty aggressively positioned, he actually can't do anything against this. My guys are far back. He can't play any ranged units and hit any of my guys. Yeah, he's got nothing against this positioning. And he could send the Tongue Bucket in, but even if he does, then all that's going to happen is next turn I'm going to play some more guys and kill it. So he actually kind of astonishingly retreats here. And this is kind of, I think, when the game goes off the rails a little bit, because now we're in round 7 and he had like a full 10 mana turn against an empty board, and he still couldn't muster enough offense to actually make an attack on my crystals. So now he's going to try to play with a Nut Lobber, and I have no idea what I do in response to this. I think I kind of wanted to play Pulmo. Oh, you know what I did? Okay, so I want to set up for Pulmo, and I just want to put this Viper in the middle of the board, because I know that this game's going to go long now, and so I want to pick off his rat for free and then just stall him there and build up some more guys on the board, because I've got Vermin, I've got Pulmo, I've got all these rats. So the second he gets guys on my side of the board, like Vermin plus these rats, they're just gonna annihilate everything. Like they're one mana 4 damage guys, and then a chain guy to boost. Like he's never gonna be able to keep anything alive on my side of the board. But I need to be careful with the Nut Lobber, because the Nut Lobber is the one card with its AoE damage that can actually reliably damage my crystals. So I gotta take that seriously. And so for now, I want to keep him on his side of the board, and he does nothing. Now I draw my downdraft here. Downdraft is going to take any ranged hero and drop it to 1 range, basically turning it into a melee unit. So that's going to be really good against the Nut Lobber. And so I'm kind of frantically deciding what I want to do on this turn, because I don't want him to be able to move the Nut Lobber forward and hit my spider there. especially if he has Sly Shift. You know, he could do 4 damage to my crystals again with Sly Shift on the Nut Lobber. But apparently I don't pay any attention to that possibility at all. I think actually there's just nothing I could have done about it other than downdrafting, and I didn't want to downdraft yet. So it's possible that he doesn't run Sly Shift, but yeah, I guess I chose not to play around Sly Shift that turn. I'm not sure really I had too much choice. I couldn't play Pulmo, so there really wasn't much that could be done there. And I want him to play more units on the board, because Pulmo, you know, as a surprise, is quite strong. So at this point, I'm willing to give up my Viper. He's just kind of out there to make him put more units on the board, and he retreats again. Like I have no idea what's in his hand. You can see the cards that we have left in our deck. He's got 12 to my 15, so I've been more efficient than him this game. So if things keep going this way, he's going to run out of cards first, and we're definitely going to go deep into the overtime, based on just this map. This map always goes deep into overtime, and so now I'm kind of like, what do I even do? I'm a little confused by his play now. I want to kill the Tongue Bucket, but I also want to poison the Nut Lobber so that if he stays back, the Nut Lobber dies. But then I can't actually play Pulmo if I do that. What I should have done is I should have played Vermin, and then I should have moved the Rat forward and pushed him up. Instead, I do like 1 damage to his crystal, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, time's running out. Oh my god, what am I doing? I'm just, okay, just kill the Viper. Well, yeah, throw the thing. Oh, now I'm pushing the Rat anyway. No, oh, this is so... anyway. So I kind of ran out of time and panicked, and I had to clear the Tongue Bucket, and it's like, okay, well... yeah, so I immediately knew, like, that was not the move, but I had to do something, so I'm annoyed. But, yeah, so that should have been Vermin. That shouldn't have been Pulmo, it should have been Vermin. Vermin was the play. And then I would have kept the Viper alive, and I would have had more mana by 1, and I would have still cleared the Tongue Bucket. But like I say, I have Pulmo out on board now, so that's not the worst. One of the things I did want to do is I wanted to get Pulmo up to this top part of the board, because he put this Dark Altar in like the worst position ever, and I wanted to use Pulmo to hit the top crystal. Because we're in round 10. Like I said, this game's going to overtime for sure. And so any damage I get on the crystal, I maybe only need 4 to 6 damage on the crystal to win the game, because he can't really attack me. Nor can I attack him, for that matter, too easily. So any damage that I get on this crystal is, you know, potentially fatal. So that's all I do. And again, by bringing down the HP on that Nut Lobber, that reduces the potential for Sly Shift. And his units are all stuck in the back. Like, what's he going to do against Pulmo here? Like, he could... I guess he could shrivel him. But then he still has to send the Nut Lobber forward, or some range unit to go forward to clear him. And Pulmo's going to retaliate and kill the Dark Altar, which is not actually that important of a building in this game. But regardless, for him, it doesn't feel very good. So he actually ends up Gorgonizing here. So now I know that Gorgonize is gone. So now my movement speed combo can go off, and he's got no more counters. So that's a really big play. I think he did have to do it, though, because otherwise I'm just going to keep chipping away at his top crystal, and he's going to lose in overtime if he doesn't get rid of Pulmo, and he probably had no other way to do it. But that's really nice for me, because that's 1 Nut Lobber down, and now I've got 3 Stonelings, and Stonelings are great for being in the way. So they are in the way, blocking him, and I got another point of damage on his crystal on top, and I'm feeling pretty good about this game. We're going into overtime, and I'm going to have all the mana I want. I'm ahead on cards still. My board is better, and I've done a little more damage to his crystals. So as long as I play this out without getting overrun, it's going to look really good for me. So he does burn the Shrivel on Vermin. I'm a little surprised that he didn't try to play that on Pulmo and sacrifice his Netlobber. But regardless, that's how it went down. That's still a pretty decent way to remove the Netlobber. Sorry, remove Vermin. Got a Netlobber on the mind apparently. Now he's got all these melee units, and I've got guys in the way. So I'm still feeling pretty good about this, because I know that I've got 11 cards left in my deck, and I've got all my movement debuffs still left to be drawn. And he's got no way to counter it. So now that I've drawn Swarm, I'm thinking about, is there a way for me to squeeze in a Swarm to chip off like another 4 damage on his crystals? Because again, it's going to come down to this slow, painful, turn by turn, 2 damage with overtime cards, and anyway, excuse me. So I summoned a spider. That was actually kind of dumb. I should have summoned the rat, but regardless, I'm just trying to get animals out on the board so I can use Swarm next turn. And what I want to do is I want to be able to push the rat up to get 4 damage on his crystal with the Swarm. Now Swarm does +2 to all animals, not +1 anymore. So now he burns his last Netlobber. So now I have a difficult decision here that you're going to see on as soon as my turn hits. I think he's going to do a few more things. So he's going to block my rat from coming forward with that Stoneling. And now I still could push him up, but he's going to play, I think, another Stoneling. He swaps. So yeah, he swaps into another Stoneling to block my rat. So now I can't push forward anymore, but I do draw Get Over here. So now I can actually, with Swarm, I can get to the bottom crystal. And I also want to use Swarm this turn because my Spiderling's going to be able to clear his Grove Guardian. But yeah, so now we're into overtime, so I'm going to get more than enough mana to play whatever I want every single turn. And I'm really torn here because I could get Downdraft his Netlobber. And so right now I am agonizing over. So I know I can get my rat down there, right next to this crystal, down bottom, with the Swarm plus Get Over here. But now I'm like, oh no, do I kill the Netlobber? Do I kill the crystal? And then I decide, okay, well, regardless of which one I kill, I need to kill the Grove Guardian first. Because if I kill the Netlobber first, then the Grove Guardian's going to get healed. It would be a moot point anyway, but I end up trying to I kill the Netlobber, and I'm saving my Downdraft because I don't know if he has any ranged units left. I couldn't remember whether he had any. I know he played Vermin already, he played both Netlobber, so I didn't remember if there was any other ranged units left at the time. But I wanted to save Downdraft in case there was one left. Because again, I'm down to 10 cards now. I'm going to draw 4. And so I'm going to be drawing my movement debuffs. Like any time now they're going to come. They're probably both going to come in the same turn. And he's got 3 cards left undrawn in his deck. So he's running out of cards. So as long as I'm just, don't completely blunder, we're even on crystal damage, but I'm actually like 2 damage ahead of him on crystal damage. So as long as I don't do anything really dumb, he's going to run out of cards before I am. So he has these guys in an offensive position, but now you see I've drawn my combo, which is not surprising. It was going to come either that turn or before too long. And now I'm trying to think about how much do I want to clear versus how much do I want to bait into the Freezing Tempest Brazier combo. You can't actually do any damage to my crystals next turn, but you can get next to them. So I'm going to pop the combo this turn, I think. He's got 4 guys on the board. So it's not a bad time to pop it. They're all melee. Oh, you know what I did? Did I pop 1? I think I popped 1. Yeah. Because if I pop 1 here, then they can't get next to my crystals. They can only get to this third from the right column. So then if he plays another unit now to go up to 5, then I can get the Brazier effect on that 5th unit. That's kind of clever by me, I guess, in retrospect. But yeah, so you see, if he was next to my crystals, then I would have a problem because I would have to poke them out of the way. Otherwise, even with 0 mana, they'd just chip in my crystals every turn. But instead, I bought myself another turn, draw some more cards. And so now there's 4 life on the top crystal. So now that they're in this position, as soon as that top crystal dies, I can actually spawn behind his little wall of guys here. Because that summon space is going to get increased. So I'm already thinking about that. That's going to happen next turn. I'm going to be able to spawn behind him. So I'm throwing that rat away because that rat can't do anything. As soon as it gets locked down with 0 movement, the rat's pretty useless. And I'm actually just clearing a path here so that I can run Borefest through the hole to get to his crystals. Because now all those 3 guys he has there are stuck. Excuse me. So now he's got 2 cards left plus the 5 in hand. And he can only play 2 more units on the board at a time. And he has to find some way to do damage to my crystals otherwise. I'm winning the race currently. And next turn I'm going to be winning it even more because I'm going to start spawning units behind his wall here and be running at his crystal. He actually swapped a card there, so you can see how desperate he is. Even with only 2 cards left in his deck, he's swapping, like throwing away cards for free. But obviously, that guy's not a threat. So now I can spawn Brain Basher behind him, like that. And then we can take out the Ogre. And then we just start clearing units now. Because his cards left in hand are so few that the 5 unit cap is not really working against him anymore. So I might as well take whatever I can. And then yeah, I can move that Spiderling up there and threaten damage on his crystal. And I thought about poking. I don't know why I didn't poke. I guess I was thinking like, I can poke next turn. But I'm pretty sure he ends up clearing my Brain Basher here because I didn't poke. Mistakes were made. But anyway, you can see that this position is really advantageous for me. He has 5 cards left. That's it. And whatever he has in his hand, that's all he's going to have for the rest of the game. So he's got to find some way to do damage to my crystal. Yeah, so I'm feeling pretty happy that I got the win. So he ends up having Viridian. And then a Bramble Mite. But fortunately, I saved downdraft the entire game, so that ended up working out for me. I saved downdraft, and so yeah, even though he has Viridian out, I can downdraft her. He saves the Bramble Mite, but he had to take 2 damage to summon the Bramble Mite. So now he's even further behind, and now Viridian can't do anything, and there's no way he's going to be able to get to my side of the map and do damage to my crystals. He has 1 card left, so he calls it GG, and that's the game. So yeah, that was a bit of a slobber knocker and a slow drag out fight, but we got the revenge win after the first game. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.